holy fucking cock-sucking, guzzling, gore-tastic, chainsaw shit. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to share this animated experience with each and every one of you. Except for that one guy who bullied me on Twitter for doing that reaction with a Makima body pillow. I brought Pochita this time, so it could be more of a family-friendly experience. No bitches, mother. Okay, we have a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to be breaking it down section by section. We're going to be talking about the direction and pacing, the art and the animation, the music, soundtrack, and voice acting, and how the scenes in the anime compare to the same exact scenes in the manga. But first, don't forget to leave a like down below on this video and subscribe to my channel if you like Chainsaw Man related content. I'm going to be doing both Chainsaw Man episode reviews and Chainsaw Man chapter reviews the same day the episodes and chapters drop. So today, because there's a new chapter of Chainsaw Man Part 2 as well, I'm going to have a chapter review for that uploaded on my channel in just a few short hours. So with that all out of the way, let's start off by talking about the direction and pacing of the first episode of the Chainsaw Man anime. I never really told anyone this, but after watching every single one of the Chainsaw Man anime trailers the exact second they dropped, I did have a few concerns. I was worried that it looked a little too perfect and well put together for a series that's supposed to be wacky and borderline satirical. And this worry stuck with me into the first episode of the anime. That was until the opening theme played and all of my worries just completely washed away. That shit was absolutely Looney Tunes, filled with corny dancing, memes, and the most charm I've ever seen in an opening or ending sequence since Lost in Paradise for Jujutsu Kaisen. And don't worry, we're going to talk about the music too. I'm going to dedicate an entire section just for the music in this video later on. As far as the episode direction goes, I can't even begin to describe just how cinematic of an experience this was. I don't know if any of you guys are like me in this regard, but I love watching Japan travel vlogs on YouTube, like Abroad in Japan. But this first episode looked like someone literally filmed scenes from a small town in northern Japan and just animated over it. I truly hope that no one is sleeping on the backgrounds drawn in this anime adaptation, because they're part of what brings this whole experience together. Aside from the top tier cinematography, the thing that I liked most about this episode was how well it conveyed just how shitty Denji's life is. Both chapter 1 and episode 1 of Chainsaw Man are basically just a display of just how downtrodden this poor young man is. And having it end at a point that shows a turning point in his life is both poetic and it keeps the viewer hungry for more next week. It's an absolute 10 out of 10 as far as the direction goes. As for the pacing of episode 1, it's literally just a 1-for-1 with chapter 1 of Chainsaw Man, which is pretty standard for a first episode. I was also a little worried that the Chainsaw Man anime was going to take the pacing a little too slow, when by nature Chainsaw Man is supposed to be a wacky and fast roller coaster of an experience. But I have faith in MAPPA that they're going to make this work even if they take it at a slower pace. I'll probably talk about this a little more in the section later where I compare the anime to the manga, so if you're interested in that, please stick around. That'll probably be near the end of the video. Now for the art and the animation. Oh boy, I have been excited to talk about this ever since that one shitty phone recording of that CGI scene leaked on the internet. We had a fair bit of controversy about the art and animation in the Chainsaw Man anime before the anime even came out. I feel like even the slightest amount of CGI used in any anime adaptation will just result in the internet erupting into a shitstorm. Just blood and feces everywhere. But I don't know how anyone could have just watched that episode and still be upset with the use of CG in the animation. That was literally the most seamless and crisp combination of traditional 2D style animation and 3D animation I've ever seen. I've never really cared if an anime's used like a little bit of CG just to fluff up some scenes every now and then, but I do think MAPPA has set a new standard for the use of CG and 2D animation combined. But that's about all of the attention I really want to give to this CGI animation controversy, because it's really just a stupid fucking argument. The animation overall is about what I've expected from MAPPA after seeing how hard they went on Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan final season. I would go as far as to say that the animation overall in episode 1 of Chainsaw Man set a higher standard than that of even some of the better animated episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan. No shade at all to any of those series, they're very near and dear to my heart. I just think that you can really see the care that MAPPA has put into this adaptation. Duly noted that the crunch that some of the animators at MAPPA had to go through to make this quality of animation happen was somewhat inhumane. If I had to take any points away from this anime adaptation at all, it would be that the art style wasn't quite as Fujimoto-esque as I would have preferred. Don't get me wrong, I think that the style and the character design in this anime adaptation are a perfect 10 out of 10, if I weren't such a big fan of Fujimoto's own personal style. As a massive fan of Fujimoto, I would have liked to see his style a little better preserved. That's it, that's my one complaint. I honestly didn't even want to bring that up. I had to dig deep to get there in the first place. I really should not be complaining about anything right now. I was just blessed with one of the most life-changing animated experiences of my life. The dick riding is insane. So now let's talk about the music and voice acting. The only three main characters we really heard from today were Denji and to a lesser extent Makima and Pochita. Denji was just overall perfect in my opinion. All of my worries about him not sounding enough like a goofy teenager have just gone out of the window. And that's mostly because the idea that I've had of Denji in my head for years now is just not as good as the one I just saw today in the first episode of the Chainsaw Man anime. So I guess Mappa's got me on that one. As for Makima, I know a lot of people, including me, were kind of looking for someone more mature sounding to do her voice. But now, after hearing Tomori-san's performance in the context of the episode, I think she's just absolutely perfect. This anime adaptation is quite literally taking every expectation I had for Chainsaw Man and turning it upside down. I will once again say this is one of the most life-changing animated experiences I have ever seen, probably since Spirited Away. That is a huge fucking thing for me to say because that is my favorite movie of all time. It's okay, you guys can call me a dick rider in the comments, I don't care, I'll gladly eat penis if I get to say things like that. Now for the music, and dear lord was that knocked out of the park. If I hadn't known that this soundtrack was going to be done by Kensuke Ushio, I would have been able to tell you that as soon as we got to the scene where Denji met Pochita for the first time. The contrast between the gloomy and emotional music played in the scenes where Denji's life is in shambles compared to the awesome, heart-pounding, experimental noise music that plays in the fight scenes is just... it's what we've come to expect from Ushio-sensei. Dude is just the GOAT. He is different. He is different. I've definitely said a few times on my channel before that I was hoping that the Chainsaw Man anime opening would have been some face-melting gent or metalcore track, but now I can't get kicked back by Kenshi Onezu out of my head. You're telling me the guy that did Peace Sign for Season 2 of My Hero Academia is now making me want to punch a hole through drywall? Okay, checkmate. Checkmate, Mappa. The opening theme and the opening animation are so carefully and perfectly crafted that I can't even imagine it being anything else anymore. And this is exactly why Mappa are the anime making professionals and I am just a grown man that talks about cartoons on the internet. The ending theme for episode 1, Chainsaw Blood by Vanti, is probably gonna be on every single one of my playlists for the next 10 years. I'm gonna brush my teeth to that shit. There are a lot of aspects of it that remind me of my favorite band since I've been a little kid, My Chemical Romance. There is definitely going to be a complete video dedicated to all of these amazing ending themes that we're gonna get in the next 12 weeks, so please stick around on my channel for that because it is gonna come at some point. I do wish there was an animation or something for the ending credits, but after the peak we just received, I should not be complaining. Okay, so now we're on to the big comparison. How does episode 1 of the anime compare to Chapter 1 of the manga? Well, it compares really goddamn well, I'll tell you that. For an episode that only adapts 55 pages of a manga where 18 of those pages are just one fight scene, that seems pretty damn slow, doesn't it? But I just love how Mappa fleshed out some of the more exposition-heavy and emotional scenes. They were able to take a tiny amount of context from these tiny little panels on the corner, in the bottom left-hand corner of a page, and turn it into these beautifully animated, full, heart-wrenching scenes. The one question I'm certain a lot of anime-onlys who are watching this video have is, what was different? What was changed from the manga? And in episode 1, that was literally nothing. There was nothing added, taken away, or changed from what was in Chapter 1 of Fujimoto's original Chainsaw Man manga, from Fujimoto's original vision. And that shows that Mappa truly respects and cares about the work that they are adapting. Every little scene can be paired one for one with the scene in Chapter 1 of the manga. So everyone, you should be pleased to know that we most likely will not be receiving a Tokyo Ghoul level shit show treatment. Alright, that's about all for today's episode review. If you're a manga reader, make sure to stick around on my channel because I'm going to be uploading a review of Chapter 106 of the Chainsaw Man manga on my channel in just a few short hours. So make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell button, follow me on Twitter. I got my social medias down in the description below. And on that note, I'll see you guys next week.